Why is now a great time to start considering self-employment? What are the benefits? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video is what are the benefits of working your own business from home versus getting a typical salary wage job. Now, I'm not against getting a job and being an employee. We need employees for the economy to run. As when a business gets to a certain size, they need to hire employees, and thank goodness there are people that are willing to work for somebody else's company. I'm glad that there are people that are willing to work for my company. I don't have employees, I hire contractors, but still their willingness to provide a service for me rather than just focus so much on entrepreneurship is needed. But for those of you who are considering self-employment, why is now a great time to even think of it as an option? With everything that's going on in the world, more and more people are feeling insecure about their current job situation. What's going to happen? What's going to happen in my job? What does it look like several months from now? What does it look like next week? Am I going to lose my whole job at once? What's going on? So it is my long-standing belief that when you freelance, when you sell a service to businesses and you have a variety of clients opposed to working for a single employer, that you have more job security that way. It's the same principle of why diversifying your investing portfolio it gives you higher security, because if you put all of your eggs in one basket, there's just greater risk with that, right? Now, sometimes there's a certain benefit to putting all your eggs in one basket and just putting everything into one place. But when you freelance, in a sense, you are putting all your focus into one place when you have a very specific service that you're selling and you're not trying to do 100 different things. So you are still very focused and you're very much putting all your attention into one thing, but you just have a variety of clients, so you're diversifying your income. Now, why is that beneficial? I'm gonna share my own personal story to back up what I'm saying about that, because I used to have a salary job, and it was years ago that and I was working full time, and then I lost that job because the company I was working for had to cut expenses and they had to restructure things. And so I lost all my income at once, a couple of months before my first son was born. So it was terrifying for me as a father, as the only one that was going to provide financially for my family, to all of a sudden lose everything all at once. And so I started considering freelancing and what that would look like, and I attempted it, and I didn't know how to freelance. I didn't know how to start a business from home. And so it was a huge struggle for me. I didn't have the education that I'm giving you now. And so I spent 9 months, 10 months attempting it and then failing miserably and giving up on it and going back to a salary job. But the whole time I was in that salary job again, a year later, I ended up quitting and going back to freelancing because I just felt very uneasy about the fact that what if this happens again and I lose everything all at once? And I couldn't help but keep thinking about how I could grow my career a lot quicker as a freelancer, because I could have control over raising my rate and increasing my prices that aligned with my skill level, and I didn't have to wait around to get a raise incrementally over time. I could build my career quicker, is what I figured, and now I have the proof that is true. I've been able to progress in my career much quicker than I could have if I stayed in a salary job, where there's kind of a lot of waiting around. There's a lot of waiting around for certain opportunities to get promoted. Whereas when you run your own business, you get to decide how quickly you grow that business based on your commitment, based on your skill level, based on your communication skills and your education, the rate at which you're getting educated and trained and coached and being able to sell and market your services. And now my income is so diversified amongst a variety of clients that only a small portion of my income comes from a single client. So just the nature of running a business, you're going to have clients that come and go, and especially during difficult economic times like right now, you have a higher amount of clients that have to kind of put a brake on things and have to back out and have to restructure things. But even during times like now, if as clients back out or reduce their budget, it's all staggered. It's staggered, and so I don't just lose everything all at once. If a client backs out, and especially with what's going on now, and if I have the foresight to be able to see how I can adapt and adjust my business to stay in business, there's just much higher security in that. Throughout the last few years, as I've been working from home, being self-employed, I've had clients come and go. Sometimes I have a client for a month and then they're gone because we only worked on a single project. But whenever a client goes, I already have another one lined up to start soon, so my income remains consistent. And a lot of people think that when they freelance and when they do this whole thing, that it's inconsistent and that it's very low security, but that's just not the case when you do it right. You can have a lot of consistency and a lot of security when you have a lot of long-term clients, and you also know how to continually seek new opportunities. You got to have the right networking skills, you got to have the right communication skills, and you got to have the commitment and the mindset to be able to constantly be looking for the next opportunity, that you don't get to just settle and stop looking for new clients. So some of the benefits of running your own business from home versus working as an employee, in addition to the security aspect, that you're diversifying your income, so you're never just going to lose it all at once, is that you do have more flexibility over scaling your career, like I talked about. But also you have more flexibility in creating life-work balance for yourself. I'm able to have a much more balanced morning routine where I get to wake up at a certain time and I get to integrate exercise and healthy habits into my day easier because I'm not trying to rush off to work to get ahead of the commute. I'm able to spend more time with my kids, with my wife. I'm able to have lunch with them. I'm able to have breakfast with them. I'm able to go on little adventures into the mountains more often and rearrange my work schedule because I have total control over that. And ultimately, I get to work less. I mean, I only work 30 hours a week because that's the amount of time that I want to put in to have the life-work balance that I want, because I like being a part of my kids' lives in a bigger way. And to do that, and so I have had to figure out how to earn enough money per hour that I'm putting into my business so that I can get away with only working 30 hours a week and I'm still earning enough money to support my family and achieve our financial goals. And I have more control over being able to do that. I've been able to have periods of time where I was charging 30 an hour, and a month later I was charging 50 an hour. And a couple months later, and a few months later, I was up to 75 an hour with hourly projects I was working on. You can never do that in an employee job. You can never just go from 30 an hour to 75 an hour in 6 months. But as a freelancer, you can do that. You can pull that off. You just have to know how to increase your value very quickly and know how to communicate that value to potential clients, so that they're willing to pay that, and you can scale as quickly as you want. You just have to have the right education and training to know how to do that. So those are some benefits of being able to work from home, running your own business, and the overall lesson here is that in times like these, you have greater job security when your income is diversified from a variety of different sources. And so hopefully that was helpful to you as you're trying to figure out what to do next with your career, and I'll see you next time.